Love can feel like an electrifying rush, heart pounding, thoughts racing, every moment with your partner tinged with exquisite intensity. But what if that intoxicating high isn't the pure spark of genuine connection, but the echo of old wounds demanding to be soothed? Attachment trauma masquerades as passion, pulling you into a cycle of anxious longing and frantic reassurance. When every kiss feels like relief and every silence triggers fear, it's not romance. It's a survival instinct gone rogue. Behind the scenes of our most obsessive moments lies the shadow of unmet childhood needs. Those early memories of unpredictability, an absent hug, a storm of anger, a day without warmth, etched a blueprint in our brains that screams, stay close or risk disappearing. This primal alarm system, once vital for a child's safety, now hijacks our adult relationships, convincing us that love and trauma are indistinguishable. In this video, we'll flip the script on conventional relationship advice. Instead of chasing butterflies in your stomach, we'll learn to spot the flicker of old pain. You deserve a love that breathes calm confidence, not one that demands constant crisis management. Ready to break free from the illusion of love at any cost and claim a bond built on trust, autonomy, and genuine respect? Let's dive in. Long before you ever knew the thrill of a first kiss or the warmth of a partner's embrace, your young mind was hardwired by caretakers who wore many masks, some days nurturing and present, other days distant or angry. In those formative moments, your brain learned a simple rule. Love is never guaranteed. It must be earned. When affection appeared only after you performed, a perfect report card, a well-behaved meal, silence during someone else's storm, you internalized a bargain. My worth is conditional, and to feel safe, I must predict and appease. As adults, we may forget those childhood contracts, but our nervous systems remember. That flutter in your chest when you sense withdrawal, the relentless urge to decode every text message, the dread when dinner runs late, all echo back to a time when unpredictability meant your needs went unmet. You carry invisible scars. Clutch at your chest when attention wanes, or a knot in your stomach when disappointment looms. These vestiges of inconsistency seed a desperate longing for reassurance, shaping our romantic instincts into guardians of old insecurity rather than vessels of new joy. Understanding attachment trauma means recognizing these patterns aren't just you, they're a legacy of survival. When we grasp that our hypervigilance and fear of abandonment were once life rafts in a stormy sea, we can begin to honor their original purpose without letting them dictate our adult love stories. By shining a light on these hidden dynamics, we reclaim the power to rewrite our relational script, from always chasing safety to building it together, consciously and courageously. Ever catch yourself pausing mid-thought, waiting for their return so you can feel whole again? When your inner compass revolves around another person's presence, you're drifting in your own life's currents. Attachment trauma convinces you that without your partner, you're little more than an echo, empty, unmoored, and unworthy. You might apologize for taking space, shrink your ambitions, or swallow your voice to keep the peace, all in service of a bond that feels like oxygen. In genuine love, two individuals bring their own light to the relationship, then amplify each. Others glow. But trauma-tied attachment rewires this dynamic. You dim yourself, believing their warmth is the only flame that sustains you. This pattern often springs from early moments when your needs were overlooked. To survive, you learn to trade pieces of yourself for a sliver of security. The result? A partnership built on silent contracts. I'll give up who I am so you'll stay. Breaking free means learning to stand solidly in your own worth. Notice when you pause ambitions or soften your opinions to anticipate their reactions. Ask yourself, would I feel just as capable sharing my dreams if they weren't there to affirm me? Cultivating a stable sense of self happens in small acts. Reclaiming a hobby, voicing a boundary, celebrating your successes solo. When you anchor your identity in your own values, you begin to experience love as a choice, not a lifeline. Imagine every minor pause in conversation feels like a crater opening beneath your feet. Your heart races, your mind spirals, and you're suddenly convinced the relationship is teetering on the brink of collapse, all because your partner didn't text back in 10 minutes. That dizzying rush of fear isn't passion. It's the phantom echo of childhood abandonment, replaying on loop. When our earliest caretakers were unpredictable, sometimes loving, sometimes distant, we learned that affection could vanish without warning. In adulthood, that lesson morphs into a relentless panic. Any sign of distance equals disaster. This state of hypervigilant alert isn't sustainable. You check their social online status, analyze every word for hidden meaning, and morph into a detective hunting proof of devotion. Arguments become epic betrayals, breathing space triggers full-blown crises, and a single disagreement can feel like the relationship's death knell. But true love doesn't punish you for needing boundaries and downtime. Healthy partnerships weather silence and storms alike, trusting that distance breeds growth, not doom. To reclaim calm, begin by observing your anxiety as if it were someone else's story. When your chest tightens at a missed call, pause and ask, is this the present moment or an old wound resurging? Ground yourself with facts. Was there a concrete reason for worry, or is your mind rushing to worst-case scenarios? Practicing. Small exposures to safe separations, a few hours apart, a solo hobby, can retrain your nervous system. Distance isn't a signal of abandonment, but an invitation to deepen trust. By waking up to these panic loops, you transform what once felt like a poison into an opportunity for empowerment and true, secure connection. Have you ever felt a pang of guilt or a knot in your stomach at the mere thought of saying no to your partner? Attachment trauma often programs us to believe that asserting our own needs is a one-way ticket to rejection. In childhood, you may have learned that speaking up meant conflict or withdrawal of love, so you adapted by becoming the caretaker, the fixer, the unspoken martyr. Over time, yes became your default response, even when you wanted to scream no. This dynamic manifests in countless ways. You accept last-minute plans that exhaust you, you apologize for voicing discomfort, or you swallow resentment to preserve harmony. Each concession chips away at your sense of self. Genuine love, by contrast, honors and even celebrates healthy limits. When you express a boundary, whether it's needing alone time, disagreeing on a decision, or simply asking for respect, it should invite dialogue, not drama. To rebuild your boundary muscle, start small. Practice saying no to low-stakes requests, a text reply delay, a dinner invitation that doesn't excite you, or an extra chore you'd rather skip. Notice the sensations in your body. Are you bracing for impact? Then observe the reality. Does the relationship truly fracture, or does mutual respect grow? Journaling these experiments can expose the gap between fear and fact. Over time, you'll discover that no is not a threat, but a gift. It preserves your energy, clarifies your values, and ultimately deepens trust. By reclaiming the right to refuse, you transform from a silent martyr into a whole person worthy of balanced, reciprocal love. Do you find yourself replaying every interaction on a relentless mental loop, analyzing their tone, their choice of words, even the emojis they sent? Attachment trauma hijacks your thought life, turning curiosity into compulsion. Instead of enjoying spontaneous daydreams, you're trapped in a feedback loop of, what are they doing right now? And do they still care about me? This isn't romantic devotion. It's the echo of early neglect, rehearsing scenarios to keep you one step ahead of another emotional blow. In secure love, your partner may drift into your thoughts, but those moments of reflection ebb and flow naturally. You can set aside concerns and return to your own world, work, hobbies, friends, without losing balance. Trauma-driven obsession, however, treats every pause in contact as a potential threat, and every memory of affection as fleeting evidence you must clutch at. You may send follow-up messages just to check, scour their social profiles, or ask for repeated assurances, all strategies born from a childhood where predictability was a luxury. To break the cycle, intentionally carve out worry windows. Allow yourself 5 minutes each morning to note intrusive thoughts in a journal, then mentally close the book and redirect your focus. Call a friend, dive into a task, practice a grounding exercise. When the urge to ruminate strikes outside your window, remind yourself, I've already noted this concern. For now, my mind can rest. Over time, these boundaries retrain your brain to distinguish between genuine signals, a pattern of neglect, or disrespect, and phantom alarms triggered by old conditioning. With practice, obsessive loops loosen their grip, making space for trust, spontaneity, and the joyful curiosity that characterizes healthy love. Attachment trauma may have shaped your earliest ideas of love, but it doesn't have to script your future. Recognizing these 5 signs, losing yourself, panic at distance, boundary erosion, panic masquerading as passion, and obsessive thought loops, is the first milestone on your journey to genuine connection. True love doesn't demand crisis, it offers calm. It doesn't punish no, it honors limits. It doesn't trap you in fear, it invites you into safety. Now that you've glimpsed how old wounds can masquerade as romance, your next step is compassion for yourself and your partner. Celebrate small victories, a moment you felt secure, a boundary you voiced, a worry you set aside. Over time, those moments weave together into a steady tapestry of trust. Did this video resonate with your own story? Drop a comment below sharing which sign spoke to you most, or how you've begun to rewrite your attachment narrative. If you found these insights helpful, please like, share, and subscribe so we can continue to explore the path from trauma to thriving together. Remember, you deserve a love that feels like home. Thank you for watching.